Swami defines life as a journey from I to we to he. The first thing that we must sacrifice is I or selfishness. In Balavikas, our beloved gurus have instilled in our hearts that service to man is service to God. To do this, we must unite heart to heart. Bhagwan says that there is only one language, the language of the heart. I now call upon a Balavikas alumnus from Karnataka, Brother Avinash Vasudev, to share his views on this topic.
Om Shri Sai Ram, offering my most humble pranams at the lotus feet of our most beloved Swami. My loving Sai Ram to all the elders and my dear brothers and sisters present here. I have been asked to speak on the topic, My Journey Through Balvikas. I joined the Sri Satya Sai Balvikas at the age of 7, and as a Balvikas student, I was fairly regular. I attended most of the Balvikas activities held at the zonal and the regional levels. And I also fared well in the exams. Around the same time, my parents too were part of the Samiti in our area. And being a young boy, I used to tag along with them to the Samiti as well. So all in all, in the Sai circles in our area, I was a fairly well-known face. But I cannot stress upon this point enough, that there is, especially in a spiritual organization, a subtle difference between presence and participation. I was present in all these places. I used to take part in the activities, but my heart was not craving for it. That bond of love, that connection with Swami had not yet formed. And in that sense, the true teachings of Balvikas and the true teachings of Swami had not yet sunk in. But that's the amazing thing about life. We tend to absorb what we are surrounded by. We are influenced by everything that surrounds us. And that is why Swami says, tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are. Satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam. Nirmohatve nischala tattvam, nischala tattve jivan muktihi. So the final goal is that jivan mukti. In fact, at this point, I'm just reminded of one small incident. The setting is of the interview room. Swami's students are eagerly waiting for him. And as Swami enters the interview room, he seems to be lost in thought. The moment Swami enters, he asks a question. Do you believe I am God? There's an instantaneous, thundering reply from the students saying, yes, Swami. And that smile appears on Swami's face, and then he asks, if indeed you believe I am God, do you believe that everything I say is the absolute truth? Once again, there's a thundering reply, yes, Swami, whatever you say is the truth. And then Swami says, you are also God. And then there's pin drop silence. All through Swami has told us, Prema Swarupalara, Divyatma Swarupalara, embodiments of love, embodiments of that divine Atma. He has told us life is a journey. It's a journey inwards. It's a journey of realization. It's a journey of connection. It's a journey of knowing that I and He are one and the same. And we have been very fortunate to be able to embark upon this journey when He Himself has come down. He has said that God has descended for man to ascend. And along this journey, Swami is so graceful. He says, if you take one step towards me, I shall take 100 steps towards you. In fact, I feel this is a good moment for me to say that in many of our lives, that first step towards Swami has been the Sri Satya Sai Bal Vikas. I don't know how many of us have realized it, but at that tender age of 5 and 6, we have all offered ourselves to Swami. So as I was thinking about this, I started to feel, what is it that Bal Vikas has really given me? What is it, or what has been my takeaway from Bal Vikas? Even before you enter the center where Bal Vikas is held, you are taught to leave your footwear in line. So the teaching starts even before you enter Bal Vikas. There is a social aspect and there is a far more important spiritual aspect. In the social aspect, we are taught how to be good citizens of the country, to love all, to serve all, discipline, moral values. That is very important for us to be good human beings. There's one more very, very, very important aspect of Bal Vikas, and that is the spiritual aspect. Every child that enters Bal Vikas, I'm sure when he or she leaves, is convinced of the fact that God exists. Whatever be the name, whatever be the form, but God exists. And why is this conviction important? Because somewhere deep within, the thought is planted that this Supreme Being is your indweller. He's your truest and closest friend. And when you need Him the most, He's always there for you. He's just waiting for you to call out to Him. At that age of 6 or 7, we do not realize it. But in a very subtle fashion, through stories like that of Jatila and how Krishna comes to him with a pot of curds, through stories like that of Gajendra Moksha, that seed or that thought has been planted deep within that Swami is yours. He's that indweller who's awaiting your call. He just wants to come and help you. But when I graduated out of Bal Vikas, this conviction had not yet set in. I was a good student, but this conviction had not yet set in. But it's like a seed that has been planted at a very young age. It's only a matter of time before the tree bears fruit. And that is true in my case as well. Without realizing it, slowly, I started to get amazed and I started to get mesmerized by the Sai Bhajans. And I wanted to genuinely participate in the Sai Bhajans. And once I started taking part in the bhajans in our center, I slowly realized that I started also participating in other Sai activities. And very soon it happened that all my time, I was just craving to spend it with Swami, listening to his discourses, trying to understand his teachings, and trying to be with other Sai brothers and sisters. And all my time I started spending in Sai activities. At this stage, I'm reminded of one more small story written by Rabindranath Tagore. In a kingdom, there's a beggar. It's almost the end of the day, and this beggar is counting all the coins that he has been able to collect that day. Just then he hears the king's chariot, and the beggar's heart leaps with joy. Somewhere within he feels that if the king comes my way, I shall beg from this king, and if he is gracious enough, he'll give me so much that I will not have to beg ever again. Even before this thought could end, the king's chariot comes and stops right in front of the beggar. The king gets out from the chariot, and the king comes out and puts his own hands before the beggar. Now the beggar is stunned. Somewhere within him he feels, "Oh Lord, what is this? I wanted to ask something from my king, but here is the king. He has come and put his hands out before me." Anyway, from his entire pile of coins, he picks out 2 coins and puts them into the king's palms. The king gets back onto the chariot and goes back to the palace. That night, there's a knock on the beggar's door, and when he opens it, on his doorstep, he finds 2 golden coins. And that's when the realization strikes him. He cries out to the Lord saying, "Oh Lord, what have I done? I wish I had given the king everything that I had." That king, that emperor in our lives is our Swami. Anything that we offer to our Swami turns into pure gold. At this point, I just remember 2 lines. मेरा जीवन तेरे हवाले प्रभु, इसे पग पग तू ही संभाले. मेरा जीवन साई हवाले प्रभु, इसे पग पग तू ही संभाले. मेरा जीवन तेरे हवाले. Let us offer this life. Let us offer everything that we have. Let us surrender at His feet. And then we truly become deserving to be called His Bangaru. Jai Sai Ram.